Well, welcome back to TED Talks Guitars and Life. It's a new day. I don't know if it's morning, night, or noon when you're watching this, but for me it is the morning hours. It is the first day after the orange was orange. T-style guitar is now natural blonde again. So, yeah, just gonna give some thoughts and lay out the next steps in the project. So yeah, if you watch the first part of the video, you saw me attempt to use an orbital sander. Hey, really appreciate those of you who are making comments, man. It really helps me. I read a few earlier today about using the orbital sander and other tips. Thank you all very much. Keep those coming. Man, not only are you helping me, even though I'm probably not seeing those in real time as I work on the step that you're commenting on, man, I'm hearing from quite a few people about how these videos are helpful to their journeys. So all the comments that you're making are helping our little YouTube learning community as we talk all things guitars and life. So thanks for that. If you like this kind of content, man, like the video, let me know, subscribe to the channel, come hang out some more at TED Talks Guitars and Life. So at this phase in the project, as I said, I started over. I won't get into all the reasons why in this video. You can go back and watch the first part of the starting over refinishing project. But yeah, sanded it down 400 all the way around, and then used mineral spirits, not sponsored by whoever these people are. The next step, once this is, I'm going to continue to let this, it's dry, but hanging out here in my study / guitar shop just for the day as opposed to the garage. The weather is a little weird. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna let this breathe for a little bit longer. After work this evening, I will do one of two things, and I say one of two things. Let me show you the back. The back looks fine. Again, if you're familiar with this particular project, what you know is that I have primarily two pieces of poplar wood that makes up this body. This side, the left side of the video, I believe, if the angle is correct, is shinier, just in general. When I did the very first sanding the body down, I cannot get the sheen off this wood. Did talk to Howard about that as well earlier on in the project, and he said depends on how the wood is cut, when the wood is cut, the kind of the tree that it came from, whatever. This side doesn't have that sheen to it, but it is perfectly smooth to my feel, and also looks pretty good. Now there's a couple of things. One is around the horns. This was the hardest part. Now again, so I'm going to call this burnt. I've burnt the wood with the sandpaper, and it's fairly scratchy around the horns. However, I'm not so much worried about that because my understanding from folks that I've read, this is really ugly. Just prepare yourselves. Everybody I've watched and read about the sides of the guitar is that the sides of the guitar generally take paint better. And when I went through this the first time, the sides looked just about, actually a little bit worse than this. And those aren't really deep grooves. It's just scratchy looking. So I don't think I'm going to have any trouble with getting paint on the sides and it looking good. Now, one thing, the other thing that I've done that I just wanted to show in the daylight. Sorry about some of those videos. It was late here. I did have a sizable dent up here, and you can tell, well, you can't tell. I don't think there's any way you can tell there was a dent there. Maybe if you like did a lot of math or something. But anyway, so took the dent out. So for those of you who are encouraging me, man, tackle that dent. Don't give that guitar to your grandson with a dent in it. Check and check, man. Now, so next step would be, I said either one of two things. Okay, so, man, I'm not trying to be a perfectionist. I'm really not. And everybody said, boy, it's a good thing, because dang. Now, man, I appreciate the comments and the encouragement. I've got two very minuscule lines that I don't think the camera is picking up. They're like very faint, and I have to get the guitar at just the right angle to even see them. And I know I've heard about the old flashlight trick, where if you hold a flashlight kind of to the side and let it shine onto the guitar, you'll see more stuff. But I've got these two very small lines, scratches. This is what I saw last night after I first did the mineral spirits, and so I just went to resanding. I haven't successfully yet gotten rid of those lines. Now, I don't think that those lines are going to show with the orange paint, but I'm not the expert. So one, I will either tackle that one more time with the sandpaper. And look, guys, I'm just trying to do my best for my grandson. This is a labor of love. My wife couldn't believe that I started over, but I'm not looking for perfection, but I do want to be satisfied for myself. And so, again, that was part of the restart. So, yeah, so mineral spirits on. I may or may not sand again, try to get rid of these very fine lines down here that, as far as I can tell, did not show up on the vid. I was trying to look in the camera and what I'm doing at the same time. So, either way, the next step after I sand and mineral spirits again, or I may just go directly to the next step, would be not a sponsored video, the sanding sealer. This just came recommended by Howard, and so I'm kind of following Howard's guidance on this. He is the expert in the woodworking area in my life. So yeah, if you guys have comments, hey Matt, drop a comment. Let me know, how did you do this? Not if you were doing it, you read this, but hey, I've done this and this is what I learned, or hey, I've done this and perhaps that, or you could say whatever you want, man. It's all good. I try to respond to all the comments and visit with folks as much as possible. So that's kind of where we are in the project. At some point, the next step will either be, again, more sanding, mineral spirits, and then sanding sealer, or the next step is the sanding sealer. The sanding sealer, I will video that as I do all things, in the hopes, man, that something that I show will teach you at least what not to do, or maybe be helpful to you in some way as you're on your journeys. So be back as we do some work on the guitar later this evening. Well, welcome back. So after letting the mineral spirits dry, yeah, I wiped it off with a lint-free cloth, applied first coat of sanding sealer, found a board. Actually, I bought a board. I shouldn't touch that. Found a use for my trampoline. That's awesome. And a big rock. Guys, say it with me now. Nothing I do is prescriptive. It's been drying for quite some time. You could feel that the wood, of course, is raised up some, which was anticipated. So next step will be to sand and repeat the procedure. Sanding sealer, as desired, as many times as it takes. I'll be back. Well, welcome back. I have sanded the back of the guitar and the sides of the guitar, and now I figured I would just do the front of the guitar, and yeah, just kind of show you what I'm doing based on what I've been learning. I apologize if there's any weird sounds while I'm doing this. Okay, so I am going to put in the description some of the vids that I've been watching, along with just the great encouragement I've been getting from Howard and others. Thank you all so much for your kind words of encouragement. So this had sanding sealer on it, and so the sanding sealer, of course, made the wood stand up. It has dried, and so I'm going to attempt to mimic something that I saw today on Brad's channel. I appreciated the encouragement of those of you who said, hey man, maybe you should watch some other videos before you do stuff. So I've been doing that. Now that's not to say that just because I watched them do it that I can emulate anything. But this is kind of what he did. A little bit of a few drops on the guitar. And this is 400 grit. I'm going to work in a small area with the grain. I'm going to try not to do that TID thing, man, where I really lean into it too much. And I'm just going to gingerly, as it were, do some very light sanding. And again, all I'm trying to do is get some of that wood that has stood up off of the guitar. So we're back. So now we've got a smooth front of the guitar and 400 and all that. Now we're going to apply some sanding sealer. So depending on who you watch, you can use a brush, you can use one of these things. So I'm going to try it this way. I have cleaned this brush. This stuff looks pretty milky white. It has been stirred a lot. So we'll just we're gonna see what happens. I'm told not to go back and forth like you're painting a fence. Did you see that squirrel throw an acorn at me? Nobody likes the videos. Not even the squirrel, man. So I'm just trying to get... See, I'm not supposed to be painting it like that. It's supposed to be long strokes. I don't know how you're supposed to accomplish that. Really, truthfully. And light coat, it's my understanding. So we are making quick work of that. Sorry about the lighting, man. Really am. And my dog, I don't know what he's... Ain't no telling what that brother's barking at. It's funny, my wife and I, man, we love baseball. Your Baltimore Orioles, etc. And, yeah. We'll be watching a game, and I don't know if you guys watch sports or like sports or not, but we'll be watching a game and we'll be saying something like, hit the ball, you know, or something. Throw the ball, just throw a strike, man, what's wrong with you? And one of us will turn to the other one and say, you know, it's probably harder than it looks. Guys, let me tell you, man, this, my friends, is in the harder than it looks files for me. I think I'm putting way too much on here, so I'm trying to thin it out some. I don't know if that's even possible by doing this. Maybe that'll help, I don't know. Maybe I'm making it worse. There's a shocker, huh? Imagine Ted making something worse on the guitar journey. Yeah, I was thinking this morning, man, I just want to solder something, you know? Oh. It's funny, man, you know, I can remember a time when I didn't want to solder anything, Jack. I was like, solder? What do you mean? You want me to solder wires? No, man. I'd buy the not solderless control plate, you know, with the little plastic doohickeys. That's, you can Google, that's technical term, doohickey. And well, guess what, man? I learned how to solder. Yeah, see, I'm not supposed to paint like this. Just supposed to go one way with the grain. No side to side. No wax on, wax off, man. Just paint the fence, you know. Just one direction. I feel a little bit like the Karate Kid at the moment, man. Well, guys, this is it for this little adventure, I think. Well, welcome back, friends. Ted Talks Guitars and Life. So, it's really dark. So, what I did is, the last video I put, I'm thinking way too much sanding sealer on here. I brought the guitar out to my makeshift trampoline guitar holder. Dun, dun, dun. And I had it with the front of the guitar facing on the ground. And I guess what had happened was, yeah, all the liquid that was in there tried to come out. Gravity being what gravity is. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Well, it's a journey. I'm gonna let this dry overnight and live another day to fight again, my friends. Well, that's my journey. Hey, wherever you are in your guitar journey, man, I pray it's a long, smooth, safe, joy-filled ride for you. Rock on with your bad selves. I'm gonna catch you down the road.